All right, we are live again.
Good morning. Good morning. What is
Just so you all
up?
know who's watching, that the other two episodes we did on Facebook Live, I'm still trying to get those uploaded because getting it to Facebook Live to get onto YouTube is a little hard, but just be patient with those.
It does get a little weird, with the uploading. It's the converting from Facebook onto like an MP4, and then you can post it on YouTube.
Yeah. So let's do the word of the day. So this episode is going to be very short. It's not going to be very long.
But before we get started, we want to introduce ourselves. I'm Broadway Mike.
I'm Wicked Ollie.
And this is Forever Ollie and Mike.
Yep.
So how's everything going on this beautiful Saturday morning?
Not much. You're going to go see the new Batman in about...
That's so exciting. It's getting a lot of buzz.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm doing good. Just got to chill out today. My grandmother's coming actually, so it'll be really nice to see her. And
so let's do the word of the day. The word of the day is, so this episode is about the difference between, because I'm a major we are major Cirque fans, Cirque Du Solei fans, and we are also major musical theater people. But we're going to compare the two today.
From the Broadway world. But then, we've been also getting into the world of Cirque Du Soleil. I mean, Olivia's also been loving Cirque Du Soleil for a while, but
I've always loved Cirque Du Soleil
even more.
Since I was a kid. So, and I know some people that are in Cirque Du Soleil. So, but we're going to compare the two. But the word of the today, we're going to go over the word of the day. Word of the day is No. It's thrilling, because Cirque Du Soleil is thrilling.
I mean, both pieces of theater are thrilling in their own individual ways on how everything is staged.
But Cirque is by thrilling is that there's going to be stunts that in Cirque that musical theater does not do. Mm-hmm. All right. So let's do a little bit of this or that.
Oh, absolutely.
We'll do a few rounds. Okay, so this or that is a game where we say what we have to guess what the person likes, what they prefer. So Mike's gonna say that I have to guess which one it is.
Okay, sailing or surfing?
I'd say you're more of a sailing.
Yeah, I'm a sailor.
Yeah. Am I a swimming or snorkeling?
Time and place.
I prefer snorkeling.
Oh. Yeah, snorkeling's fun. I mean, I never done snorkeling before, but it's something I've always wanted to do. Actually, the last time I was at Disney, because they have that some of the resorts, that's actually one thing I didn't get to do the last time. So the next time I go to Disney, I would love to
I'll actually be right back. Let me go get something. I'll be right back. Mike will entertain all of you. Well,
What is up, everyone who's watching? It's been a really exciting last couple of days. I got the booster finally, which is awesome. I've been in rehearsals for my show in April. Man, I cannot believe it's a month from now. And, a lot of anticipation, excitement coming in, but it's going to be an amazing show. And I've worked really hard on it. Olivia's been helping me, and I love her so much. But yeah, it's been really good. And just going through the whole creative process, figuring out what I want with the sounds, because I've been rehearsing with my musicians, and now we're starting pieces coming together, and it's going to be amazing. Woke up today, feeling the way we always do. Never get tired of hairspray. This is
I am back. So we're gonna go. Did Mike entertain all of you while I was gone for a second?
Yeah, I was doing a little bit.
All right.
Oh yeah, but we were continuing with the game for this or that, or you want to go?
We're gonna do one more round, just one more.
Okay.
So
here we go.
So
okay.
Am I a Marvel or DC?
Marvel.
I'm a time and place. I do like DC and I do like Marvel.
Yeah, they're both great.
Okay.
Mine is okay. Anything with Disney or Nickelodeon?
I would say time and place.
Definitely time and place for both.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna do a comparison. Cirque du Solei is a Canadian theater group, is a Canadian theater company, but it's also a circus. It's go for Circus of the Sun.
Yep, that's French for Circus of the Sun.
Yep, and Mike can explain. Obviously, we all know what musical theater is, but Mike, you can explain it.
So doing musical theater is basically, like the classic tradition of like Broadway musicals, stories told through song and dance, and then you have the classic plays being told in New York. And of course, there's musical theater even around the world. So it's not just New York.
Okay. But the difference between the two, but the similarities is that they're both theater.
Yep, they are a form of live theater art. But what's really cool about both Broadway and Cirque du Soleil is that they're both unique in their own way.
Yep. They're both unique, but there is so much in Cirque du Soleil. There's a lot more thrillifying stuff.
Oh, thrilling.
And what I mean by that is that there's a lot of things that you would not see that's in Cirque. Not Cirque. Sorry, that's in musical theater. Sorry, laundry. I'm multitasking here, guys. Mike, you can explain more.
Oh, yeah, because with Cirque du Soleil, what's really interesting and what Olivia has been getting me interested in it is that with Cirque du Soleil, the many shows that they do each week is completely different versus Broadway. Because for those of you who know musical theater, Broadway we would do 8 shows a week. Whereas Cirque du Soleil, it would be about 10 to 12 shows a week. And basically, they would literally have almost 2 shows almost every day. Because especially if you go to Vegas and you see Cirque du Soleil there, they do multiple shows to kind of get the tourists in. But every single one of those productions in Cirque du Soleil that Olivia's been getting me into is just so amazing. I mean, I've known a couple of them. So, fun little fact about me, I'm actually a huge Celine Dion fan. And even though it wasn't considered Cirque du Soleil, the guy who directed her first Vegas show, A New Day, was created by the man who directed a lot of Cirque du Soleil shows, Franco Dragona. So that was kind of like a little bit of my first introduction to the world of Cirque du Soleil. But with Cirque du Soleil, they have like these visual productions and using like the elements from the circus, and it's given this authentic, original form of art to go with the production. Whereas with Broadway, it's like a traditional show where basically people will come in and, there's like a full original story.
The thing between Cirque is that I think you put more of your life. Sorry, I have laundry running and all this stuff, so I'm going to be going back and forth.
Oh, no worries.
But, between the Cirque, it's like there's a lot more stuff that requires a lot more than when you get into musical theater,
Yeah, I mean, the training process, you have to start really early.
You have to start like musical theater. You can start at any age, but with Cirque, you have to start when you're very young, because usually some people when they're in Cirque, they start when they're like 18 months because their bones start being very flexible and it forms a shape.
It's very physical and, of course, very thrilling.
It's very thrilling. But, the thing is with also musical theater, they're call timed like musical theater requires like this. What is it? Dance, sing, and act.
The triple quadruple threat.
But you can explain what Cirque requires, Mike.
in Cirque du Soleil, you mainly have to be a quadruple threat because
No,
the
more
way
than a quadruple. You have to be like a quintuple.
quintuple, because not only you have to like sing and dance and all done, but you have to do all these crazy aerial stuff from, like being on those tight ropes to like those flips and like literally everything like that.
And also, I
And
think but the similar thing between those two is that you can get into the union. You
yeah,
can
that
get
is
your union
true.
card and equity card.
That is true.
Yep. All right, and then but the similarities is that they still have to act. When you're an acrobat and when you're a musical theater performer, a singer, you still have to learn. You still have to act and
Yeah, because Cirque du Soleil, there is still that storytelling aspect.
There is the storytelling, but it's a different kind. Like in the storytelling between like between like musical theater, it's more like song interpretation and telling a story through dance and singing. But when you're in Cirque, you have to. When you're an acrobat, you are playing some type of creature or an animal or a you have to be able to act through body movement.
Yep, it's all about the bodies, and that's what gives it more of a thrilling theatrical experience.
Yep. All right, Mike, your turn. You can explain.
Yep. Yes, I mentioned, we mentioned the early call times. Yeah, because it's like in general when you're doing Broadway, usually you have to be at the theater about half hour before showtime. Whereas with Cirque du Soleil, you have to be there like early in the morning, and you don't finish till around like 12, almost midnight the next morning.
Because on a there's a 2-show day every day with Cirque. There's a 2-show day every day with some Cirque show. The touring shows, they do the 2 p.m. and the 8 p.m. back to. They have a 2-show day
because
every day.
they'll have their
They have
tent
a dark.
or they're in arena.
They have with the arena shows. They have around 2 or 3 shows a day, and all of them are around 2 hours. So, but with Vegas, they have only 2 shows a day. They have 2 shows a day, so they do 10 shows a week instead of the regular 8 shows.
But they have to get up really early because they go through like really just to practice and all the physical warm-ups and everything.
Like musical theater is like you go into the theater like half hour before the show.
Yeah.
But with Cirque,
sometimes an hour before, depending on like the role and stuff.
But that's still fairly late though. Like that's still very close to showtime.
Yeah,
but
that is true though.
When you're doing like a Cirque show, like their call time is like 9 a.m. in the morning and their show's at 7:30 p.m. But they have to be there for the training. Like one Cirque show does like they do 7 hours of CrossFit and they do 3-4 hours of stretching.
That is commitment. Thrilling commitment.
It's a thrilling commitment. I always said, Mike, if they were to have like Broadway try Cirque one day, and Cirque people go try Broadway, they flip flop. That'd be so interesting.
It'd be interesting to see how different it's for their bodies there versus what they're used to. Well, I mean, they already did it with Cirque du Soleil one time. That show Paramore that was on Broadway,
that's not switching place with a Cirque performer. They still have Cirque performers, but they were not doing the Broadway performers weren't doing any of the stunts, So
yeah, they did have the real Cirque du Soleil pros come in and do all the acrobat stuff,
yeah.
And then they had like the main dancers and everything. And we had a couple of friends actually that were in Paramore.
Yep.
But also the one that's really one of my personal favorites that I've really been hooked on thanks to you, Wicked Ollie, is definitely O.
O is my favorite because I saw the show.
O is Olivia's personal favorite, and also not only just like a thrilling visual experience, because really majority of the entire show takes place in the water.
In the water.
Gigantic pool tank.
The pool tank has around 14 crew members underwater and around 21 microphones underwater.
That's so amazing because they have to be under the water the entire time, and then basically they're using a snorkel because they have like those snorkels.
They have oxygen masks on.
Yeah.
All performers have to be, and also all performers, everybody who's in O has to have a diving certificate or diving license, and also they have to take a swim test a lot.
Yeah, they just want to make sure everyone is okay and feels comfortable under the water like that.
How many degrees is the water in O?
You said it was about like 80, 90 degrees?
It's 80 degrees.
Yeah,
80
but
to 82.
It was just like a general warm type.
Yeah. The reason is because they need their muscles to really be relaxed when they're doing the performances.
Yeah, and it's really funny because it's like, when we go into our swimming pools during the summer, it's like when you take the first steps in, it always gets a little chilly from outside.
Yeah.
But when you're inside that theater in Cirque du Soleil, it's like very warm and just helps you get comfortable.
Yep. But I'd love to see if they were to do like a Cirque versus if they were to do a Cirque versus Broadway in a talent off, that would be such an amazing thing to watch.
Okay, can you imagine, for example, like Bernadette Peters in one of those like big elaborate costumes, and then she's like flying over the audience?
Oh my gosh, that would be so neat. Can you imagine if Carolee Carmello went to go see Cirque?
Oh my god! Oh, Carolee Carmello, even her doing one of the shows there, doing also one of those moments where she's like flying and like hitting those incredible high notes. And speaking of
they don't train ever. But here's the thing, though: you can't just fly when you want to. You have to be trained to fly.
And speaking of which, one of our dear teachers and our friend and mentor, Ines Minosa, just went to see O.
She just went to see O. She's my best. She is one of my favorite teachers ever because I worked with her for a very long.
Teacher that we love near and dear to our hearts.
We love all the teachers. She's very thrillingly fun. We love all the teachers. We love every single one of them because I've worked with Eden for many years. So she knows me. She knows me very well, and I love working with her. Every teacher we worked with is amazing, and she just saw O, and I told her all about it.
Yeah, but she said she had a lot of chills and
thrills.
Yep, thrilling. But yeah,
the difference is it is so
Zarkana.
much.
I love Zarkana.
Oh, Zarkana is great. Here's the thing. There's a lot more. You have to really know how to improv when it comes to Cirque as well. You can improv in musical theater too, but it's much harder to improv in Cirque.
Yeah, I actually learned this when I was in college. I remember we actually had to do one of my acting classes. We did like a whole acting 2 class, and one of the things that we learned about was the art of clown acting. Because basically it's like, you take a random object and then basically you just kind of like do like mysterious things with it. Just like really cute.
Actually, when you audition for Cirque, they have you do a clown call.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, everybody has to do it.
Well, I knew they done like the physical, like the dancing and the acrobat stuff, but I didn't know much about the clown call.
Clown call is basically they want to see what you can do when it's testing your acting skills. But actually, that's it for this episode. But tune in next week when we are going to compare musicals. Tune in next Saturday at 9:30 a.m. I would say around 9:45 a.m. Eastern time.
Yeah, that'll be good.
You all are the best. So I'll see you all next week.
It's so thrilling. And you're the best, Wicked Ollie. I love you so much. And
you too.
To us. So we'll see you next week.